Thank you, Pastor Biru, for being with us this afternoon here in Silver Springs, Maryland. Tell us a little about yourself.
My name is Gussa Biru. I am from Ethiopia, northern part of Ethiopia. My parents are Coptic Christians or Orthodox Christians. Even before I became evangelical Christian or Lutheran, I was Orthodox Christian. But our village is far from the cities or town. There is no any evangelical church. As a matter of fact, there was no even Coptic church around us. But my father used to tell me about biblical stories. Because of that, I started to like the biblical stories, and I started reading the Bible. When I read the Bible, I got some wonderful ideas, even though I did not understand at that time the whole will of God, especially what God has done through Jesus Christ. I understand God is a loving God. God is a God of everything, the creator of heaven and earth.
So you grew up in a rural area. Your dad was a farmer?
Yeah, my father is a farmer. Under him there were other workers. He hired many workers around him, and my father sent me to the nearby town to go to school. In that way, I got modern education.
How old were you when you went away to school?
At that time, I was 7 years old.
7 years?
Yeah, my brother, his name is Demiso, he was around 9 years old. When we started, I was 7, he was 9.
How did you get to be a pastor?
And as I mentioned before, I just continue reading the Bible. When I read the Bible, especially I saw that how Jesus Christ sacrificed for us. But at that time, really, my understanding of salvation was so dim. But I had a question when I read the Bible, especially the Old Testament. How on earth in this world fulfill the will of God by performing these laws? Then I became so depressed. I know there is God. I know He expects from His people to do His will. But when I see myself, I am so sinner. Then even though I read the gospel, I don't know how to relate the gospel into my life. At that time, I gave up. When I was a high school student, at that time there was a revolution in Ethiopia. The revolution is starting. In my school, some student saying that there is no God. At that time, I was so frustrated and furious. But when someone says there is no God, if there is no God, what's life after all? Then because of that, I hate politics. At that time, the politics was just, most of the time is the left politics or the socialism or communism or philosophy politics. Anyways, when I was in that atmosphere, the revolution came to into the point all the society fight each other, especially the former government, the king deposed by the military, and our school closed. Then I had a chance to go to Addis Ababa, to the capital city of Ethiopia. I had a friend. Before I came to Addis Ababa, he went to one of the evangelical churches and attending the church service. Then when I went to Addis and got my friend, he invited me to go to the church. At that time, the first time I heard the gospel message, when I heard the preaching, when I heard about the love of God through Jesus Christ, I just really, I don't have any word to express the feeling, how much I was so satisfied and full. Before, for a long time, I was looking to feel my heart, to feel my inner being. But when I heard the gospel's message, I understand this is the thing, the life I was wondering, I was wishing to have. In that local church, I became a confirmed member of that local church, and I became a choir member, a prayer service minister, and once in a while I go to the community to witness about Jesus Christ. I grew up in that local congregation. Even I became elder.
You became an elder.
An elder of that local congregation through the times.
Okay.
In that days, I went to one of the Ethiopia college, it's technology faculty. When I have graduated, I heard a voice to give my time as a tithe. At that time, it was my 10 years of receiving Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. I gave 1 year as a tithe to be an evangelist. I did not mention, I did not tell my story to the local church. It was between me and God.
So after, you figured that after 10 years of being a Christian, you needed to give 1 year back to the Lord and became an evangelist.
An evangelist, yeah.
Wow.
And at that time, the church did not give me anything. It was between me and Jesus and my Lord. Amazingly, in that 1 year, God provided me a lot of things, physically, spiritually, in every angle.
This was in Addis Ababa?
Yeah, it was in Addis Ababa. Our local congregation grew from, I don't know, about 200 people into 1,000. Our income to the local congregation, grew, tremendously. Anyways, when I finished that year, I start praying, God, what's your will? At this time, I want to be a contractor because my field of education was engineering, civil engineering.
You were an engineer, civil engineer.
Yeah, I would like to be a contractor. God, please bless my future work. But when I pray regarding my future, I didn't see any future. It was dark black. I don't know why. I didn't know that. I did not sense that God called me to be a full-time minister. But I just continue praying about my personal future. Then, to make the story short, God spoke to me, to give my life to the ministry of His kingdom. And I gave myself to be a minister. Then my local congregation called me as a full-time evangelist.
As a full-time evangelist.
In that case, I became a minister for the local congregation.
Wonderful. How did you get to the United States?
When I was working as evangelist at Mechanics, one of the missionary invited me to Europe. There was a meeting. Then
invited you to Europe.
Yeah, to Europe. Yeah. When I got a visa to go to Europe, I went to one of the American embassy in Addis, and I asked a visa to visit the United States of America. I had a dream to come to the USA. At that time, it was very hard to get a USA visa. Anyways, the guy, I don't know, for some reason, he did not question many questions. He asked me for how many weeks or months do you want to visit America. I asked him 3 weeks. He granted me 6 months.
So you came to the, did you have the money to come to the United States?
I don't know if I had any money. He asked me, do you have any money to go to the USA? No, I don't have, right now I don't have any money, but when I go to Europe to this conference, I will get some amount of money. I will use that money for the USA, as I respond that way.
Oh boy. And where did you come when you came to the United States? Did you come to Maryland, Baltimore?
No, when I got the visa, I never had a friend to give invitation, but through other friends, I got someone to give me for certain days to stay with that person. Then I came to San Francisco area, California. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When I saw the USA, my dream was about USA so high. Yeah. But when I see the USA, I was not that much impressed, to tell the truth. I was so disappointed not about the countries, but disappointed about the other people, especially the Ethiopian community. The guy who gave me shelter, he was not that much friendly. Because of that and other reasons, I just decided to go to Ethiopia. But friends from that local congregation, they insisted to stay in the USA, to go to seminary. That was really God's providence. I didn't know those people, especially for Ethiopians. They told me, our house is open for you. If you just come to my house, you can stay with me. Even for your college education, we are going to pay for you. At that time, the Ethiopian government is a socialist government. They don't want me to go back to Ethiopia for persecution.
They didn't want you to be persecuted.
Yeah.
How did you get to Silver Springs, Maryland?
Anyways, after I went to seminary, after I graduated from seminary, even in the process, after I decided to stay in the USA, there was a small local congregation in San Diego. That group called me to be their minister. Nice. Yes, I became their minister as well as a student at the same time. Seminary student, part-time, and a minister. I have finished everything. I graduated from seminary, Bethel Seminary. On the other hand, in order to be a Lutheran pastor, I had to alternate route from the ALC. But I had disagreement with the professor, especially some issues. After I finished everything, I just left the ALC and I came to LCMS.
Oh, okay. Where's your ministry now?
My ministry is in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Okay. What church are you with?
This is Evangelical Lutheran Church, Mekane Jesus. It's a mission of LCMS.
So you're a mission developer now?
Yeah, mission developer,
yeah. Church. Okay. What's been the biggest challenge that you've had in starting a new mission in the United States?
There are many challenges. One of the challenges, to reach out the Ethiopian community. The community live in a distant area. You can't go to any house and get an Ethiopian or Oromo or Eritrean person. In order to reach out the Ethiopian community, you have to find out where they live. Beside that, there is political differences, ethnic division among our people.
So ethnic divisions in land, that's a big challenge. What's been the greatest blessing?
The great blessing is to serve Lord Jesus Christ, to serve my community, and to work with other fellow brothers and sisters. At this time, we have a great challenge. We don't have any space. We rent one of the Episcopalian local church. We need to pay every month $1,000. Beside that, we had to pay $800. We have TV ministry in Ethiopia. It is a satellite TV ministry. It's in Amharic. We reach out about 100,000, even more than that, million people. Besides that local congregation has to support me, even though it's not enough, they support me. That's our challenge. And the other challenge is our children do not speak our language. They speak English. They are really, even though they are black, even though they are Ethiopians, they are Americans. In order to serve these children, we need to know their culture, their mindset. One of our challenges, we need the American minister for our children.
You need an American ministry, evangelist or missionary or youth worker for your children, for the children of immigrants. Wow. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close the video?
Thank you very much for this time to express my thoughts and to share in what way I pass through.
Well, the pleasure was all ours. Thank you for being here, and thank God for your presence among us, Pastor.
Thank you. God bless you.